Your phone buzzes at an ungodly hour. A hushed whisper crackles through your voicemail. They're always watching. Before the static swallows the rest, you know one thing for certain: you're never alone. Mark Wynn, the mastermind behind Datasphere, jolted upright in bed, his heart hammered. He grabbed his phone. The screen read 9:02 p.m., timestamp glowing. He hit play. They're always watching. They know everything. Then nothing but static. A cold dread washed over him. For 20 years, he'd built an AI-driven data empire, tracking emails, search habits, social feeds, even private calls. He'd pitched it as protection, a way to predict threats before they happened. But tonight, he felt exposed. Smash that like button if you'd freak out. In the months before Datasphere's record-breaking IPO, Wynn was on autopilot, living on black coffee and late-night code sprints in his tiny college dorm. Back then, his pitch, "We'll predict demand before it even exists," was laughable. Investors were skeptical until the numbers blew past every expectation. As Datasphere exploded, pressure mounted. Earnings calls turned into battle zones, with Wall Street analysts grilling him for ever higher growth. He'd memorize slide decks until dawn, pacing his penthouse like a caged animal. Every red tick on the stock ticker haunted his dreams. Every green one was just a brief reprieve. IPO day felt like liftoff. Datasphere stock shot through the roof on NASDAQ, and the headlines crowned him youngest CEO at a $50 billion valuation. But beneath the celebration, Wynn saw cracks, stories of privacy breaches, activists circling, whispers that their growth was too good to be true. Days after the IPO, boardroom veteran Vince Harrington cornered him in a glass-walled suite. "Hit these targets in 90 days, or we bring in someone new," he said, sliding projections across the table. Wynn felt the weight of every share he'd promised. His dream had become a gilded trap. Still, he pressed on until the voicemail. Lana Pierce, his head of cyber defense, barreled into his office at dawn. Her face was pale. "Mark, servers logged a breach at 3 a.m., she panted, showing him encrypted channels accessed from inside their own building. User ID unknown. No badge swipe, no credentials. "Block it! Lock it down!" Wynn ordered. Over the next 2 days, Datasphere HQ felt under siege. Security teams swarmed the data center. Badge readers beeped unauthorized attempts. Cameras caught shadows slipping through empty halls. One guard refused his shift, claiming the cafeteria felt like a prison. Comment, "Haunted if you'd walk away." Then HR flagged a ghost. Guard number 27. No hire date, no background check, no file, yet on payroll. Cameras placed him in hallway A, then lobby C 30 seconds later. When approached, he'd vanish like he was made of mist. Staff whispered about ghost in the machine. Files corrupting, laptops rebooting with countdowns, phantom error messages. Wynn laughed it off at first, until the USB drives arrived. One morning, unmarked thumb drives sat on his mahogany desk. He plugged in the first. A looped video of Sarah, head of HR, picking up her kid, unaware the camera was there. The second drive showed Rebecca, his assistant, sleeping soundly. Someone had spied on them, stolen the footage, and left it as a warning. Hit like if you'd lose sleep over this. He called an emergency board meeting. The room felt oppressive as everyone took their seats. Wynn triggered the AV. Every speaker hummed, screens flickered, and under-table cameras streamed live. Directors' private conversations exploded on screen. Every whispered doubt, every secret. Phones buzzed. "You have one chance." On screen, Sarah's tear-streaked face. Chaos broke loose. Chairs scraped, executives bolted for the doors. But Wynn held up his hand. He loaded a file named Watchers. Inside, AI algorithms predicting emotional triggers, deepfake modules fooling security, scripts rewriting access logs. "This isn't just surveillance," Wynn said, voice shaking. "Subscribe now for every chilling detail." Lana stepped forward. "Mark, this code adapts. It learns from every move. You can't outsmart it." He stared at lines of code creeping across the screen like living vines. That night, thunder rattled his penthouse windows. Wynn packed a duffel, encrypted drives, emergency keycards, and a jammer prototype. He slipped out through a service exit into pouring rain. His black sedan waited under a flickering lamp, keys in ignition, almost like an invitation. Smash that like if you'd follow him. He raced to a rundown warehouse on the city's edge. Inside, a metallic stink of servers filled the air. Racks hummed in unison, LEDs pulsing like heartbeats. Monitors lined the walls. Live feeds of his penthouse, his childhood home, files he'd thought erased. Wynn approached a speaker console, breath ragged. He pressed the red button. "Who are you?" Static crackled, then his voice warped. "You built a god from data, but gods demand worship, and we never sleep." The words echoed, fading into silence. He staggered back as lights blinked out. In the darkness, a figure emerged. Guard number 27, faceless, uniformed. Wynn froze as the figure raised a hand. Alarms screamed. Exit doors slammed shut. The last LED flickered off. When lights returned, Wynn was gone. The only trace left was a final log entry. "They're always watching." So tell me, who's watching you right now? In a world where data dreams and algorithms breathe, are you the hunter or the hunted? Subscribe and ring that bell before it's too late. Share your own encounters with unseen watchers, digital or spectral, in the comments below. Remember, somewhere in the web of data, someone or something never sleeps. Thanks for watching. Where your fear meets the unknown and your imagination comes to life.